All right. Well, first of all, welcome to the presentation. My name is Darren Galka. I've worked with Experior now for over 5 years, and I get asked all the time, Darren, how did you build, a business in this industry coming from nothing, no background, no education in the industry, and now we built a team of licensed agents right across Canada, right across the U.S. We've developed many six-figure and multi-six-figure earners. We've helped many people earn shares in the company, grow their businesses, achieve some great levels of success. We've got lots and lots of people making 2-3 grand a month part-time. Some people are making 2 to 3 grand a week, and others are, some of us are making, even more. And so it's amazing to me that you can do that from this great industry. And so, 20 years ago, I got to start in this industry. Someone said, Darren, you should check it out. First of all, you're going to learn a lot about your own finances and what the wealthy know about money and what they do with their money. And what most of us never get to find out about is really how money works and how to really take and put money to work for you and your family. And so, my role tonight is to really give you a great idea of what Experior stands for. Experior stands for Expert Advice, Superior Solutions. And that's where the branding of the name came from. But we started out in Canada just about 10 years ago. And from humble beginnings, we got started out east and we grew across Canada, all across the States now. So just, for us being able to grow a business here. So my wife and I just give you a little bit of background, 5 years in Experior. We've been able to grow and develop a team of over 1,200 licensed agents. The company itself has now over 3,000. We're going to 10,000 agents. So we're definitely looking for solid people to help us expand and grow all the cities in Canada. We've been able to develop and also create 80 executive directors, 50 shareholders of the company. We do have a share ownership program and also over almost 46-figure earners and above. And so that's just in our own agencies as well. We've got hundreds of now six-figure earners. And so many more people developing along the way. So it's been a very exciting time. And so I'm very excited to share this message with you tonight and our story. And so we began in 2014 in Canada. We opened up across Canada. We grew rapidly. And now, of course, we're marching across North America. We opened the U.S. market in 2020 with our U.S. expansion. We were actually the very first Canadian managing general agency to open up a U.S. division. And now we're the most successful company to ever do that from Canada. Now there's others that are following suit. And so we're very, very proud of that. And of course, that's given our American friends an opportunity. It's also given Canadians a chance to grow and build a business in America. And I don't know about all of you, but making American money is a good thing because it's 1.3 times the conversion rate. So we get a pay bump by earning income from the U.S. But for our U.S. friends and families, they get the chance to participate in this amazing opportunity of financial services in this company. And so what is our mission statement? Our mission statement is building financial foundations for families to empower them today and leave a legacy for tomorrow. I'm going to talk about legacy tonight because obviously for all of us as clients, we want to be able to put something away and create a legacy for our future, for our families, for our children and grandkids. And if we do the right job today, we can leave something special behind for them. And I really think that that's an opportunity right now that is second to none with doing what we do and teaching what we teach. And so I want to share that story with you as well tonight. Our Canadian product partners, we work with a multi-billion-dollar company. So when we have the opportunity to help a family, we get to pick and choose. It's kind of like going down the Costco aisle and you get to, pick and choose from the aisles or the Walmart aisles, and you get to pick the best products and services for you and your family. And so as agents, we have to do that here at Experior. So we're not limited. We're not a one-stop shop where you get the same brand, the same product to every man, woman, and child. And that just does not serve the Canadian or American consumer. And so on the Canadian side, these are all our multi-billion-dollar partners. So what gives us a little bit of credibility is the fact that these companies have granted the rights to represent their brand, their products in the Canadian marketplace. And also for the clients and consumers, it gives them a lot of choice and flexibility. If you're hard to insure, you've got health challenges. If you need permanent products, you need term products, you need, all the investment strategies, et cetera, all of that is available through our product partners. Also, we have the mutual fund securities division in Canada. So all the big names we're all familiar with, we have the ability to service our clients with that as well, depending on the need and the requirements. And of course, if the agent has the license to do securities, if that's something of value to the client, then we would do that. And that's our securities partner. On the U.S. side, if you're from the States, you're going to recognize a lot of these big names. Obviously, I think it goes without saying, you look at AIG, Allianz, Transamerica, these are big names in the industry. Foresters as well, National Life, F&G. So these are big, big behemoths in America. So we're also partnering with them to bring our American families the products and service they need, whether it's final expense, term insurance, permanent products, etc., and annuities. And so all those great products are available. We also have a very special partner with Global Capital. This is an award-winning platform, award-winning company. So this is the security side in America. So they have enabled us to go out and supply that platform to our clients also. And so it's just been an amazing, amazing partnership and growth story of our two companies. And now we get to work together and bring to the American side the securities division. So again, if that's on the side of the street where you're at, you'll enjoy that process, and you'll enjoy being able to partner with Global Capital as well on the U.S. side. So taking a look at all the financial confusion out there, when you look at all the things out there, whether it's a Roth IRA or in Canada, TFSA, or, it's a 401k, or, it's an RSP, things like that. So all these questions, child education, life insurance, retirement, these are all questions that all of us ask all the time. And a lot of us just don't have the time, the energy, the bandwidth to know everything. And so it's even for advisors, it takes, a period of time, and agents, a period of time to adapt and to get to learn this. But we have an amazing, amazing part-time training program that enabled me to slowly and steadily gain the knowledge of this entire industry and be able to go and help more and more families. And when you bring that, take away the confusion, you clear, the air for people, take the fog out of the bay, you can navigate through the waters again. And so this is a beautiful thing of what we do, is help reduce that financial confusion. What are the reasons why most people fail financially? The number one reason is just no education. My mom and dad, God bless them, they're amazing people, great parents. My late father passed earlier. He lived a great life. He was 87. I really wish he could live longer, but it wasn't in the cards. And so, my mom and dad never got the financial education. So most of us kids never got it either. And so generation after generation, if you don't get the proper financial education to learn what the Wall Street people know and bring the Wall Street information to Main Street, right? And help people out. Now, there's people that live on Sesame Street. It doesn't matter what you do. They're not going to learn nothing. They don't want to learn anything. They're living on Sesame Street. So, but the idea here is that without the education, how on earth can you do step number 2, make a plan? So most of us will plan birthdays, holidays, Christmases, or, anniversaries, or we'll plan, to send our kids off to college. We'll plan to buy a new home. We'll plan to build a home. We'll plan on where we're going to live and what that's going to look like. But very few people plan their entire financial future. And so it's a sad thing that without the education, it's really hard to plan. And the final step is no coaching. So one of the things that we pride ourselves in is being able to coach people to become financially successful. And so by coaching people, you can keep them educated, keep them planning, and then see them through to financial success. So these are the 3 areas that we really teach agents how to do this process and how to walk families and people through this process. So the number one question is, do you have a debt strategy? So if there was a way to save tens of thousands of dollars in interest and become debt-free years sooner, would you want to know how? And the answer, of course, always is yes. I'll tell you my personal story here. Before I got in this great industry, I was $116,000 in mostly credit card debt and a bit of line of credit debt, and I had no way to get out of it. I had no income, no job, no home equity, no way to pay it off. I was really on skid row, so to speak. If it wasn't for my one brother living in the nearby city, right, to where I would have been on the street. And so it was a very, very tough time in my life. And so through getting some debt strategies going, being able to pay down the payment on one of the debts, and then I was able to snowball that payment into the next payment, So by the time I was done, I knocked off this debt. And because of this great industry, earning money from the industry, I was able to knock off all that debt in just 2 years' time. And so again, those strategies really make an impact. So if you could learn how to do this, would you want to know how? And so that's one of the things we teach our families. Another one is protection strategy. Do you have a protection strategy for your family? So what would happen if a family member passed away unexpectedly or suddenly? What would happen to the family? So my question always is, would you want to go with option 1 and bet on that one, or would you rather bet on option 2? Which one would you think would be more secure for your family? Well, obviously it's option 2. And unfortunately, what breaks my heart when I'm out and about is seeing so many GoFundMe pages of families that are newer to the country, didn't know any better, or even families that have been here a long time or were born here and just for whatever reason never sat down with somebody, or someone from their community was not able to sit down with them, or worse yet, the wealthy financial advisors and agents out there, they don't pay attention to the everyday people. They go for the wealthy, the business owners, the lawyers, the doctors, the high end, all stars and athletes, things like that. They just forget about the everyday family. So one of our mainstream programs is for mainstream families on the main street, right? And so bringing the top knowledge to everyday families. And so again, I hope option 2 would be the right option for you and your family, and so we can help set that up. When it comes to insurance in America, 46% of people living in the States don't even have any, which is almost half of everyone has zero, which is really, really risky. When we just looked at that last picture and that last insurance strategy, 53% of those who are underinsured say they're unsure of how to be properly protected. So even the ones that maybe have it don't know how to properly be protected. So we can walk through that entire process. There's 102 million people either uninsured or underinsured in the country. That's 1/3 of the entire population. So is there a big need or an opportunity for us? Absolutely. Now, taking a look at the investment strategy, this is crazy. When you look at almost 3/4 of everybody that gets to retirement has $100,000 or less, that's insane. And so, when my mom and dad retired, it was crazy because I didn't believe that they would burn through $8,000 a month in retirement, which was just about $100,000 a year Canadian. Here's why they were burning through it. They were not burning through it when they were living together, but my dad had late stage dementia. He needed special care, special help, and there's not a facility that allows you to live together in that care facility because they're taking care of special needs people. So my mom and dad then had to actually live apart. It was one of the most painful things I had to experience. And had my parents planned better, they would have saved better and done a better job of preparing to possibly live separately, or better yet, build a home that would have been able to take care of both of them and live together. And so very, very unfortunately, that was not possible. So their cost in retirement, a lot of people just believe they're going to be super healthy all the way through. And that's not always the case, that you're going to be super healthy. And so this is crazy. So my question is, what is your plan to avoid this and ending up here? That's my question. What is your plan to avoid this? If 75% of everyone we know is going to end up here, what's the guarantee that you won't? And so do you have an investment strategy to avoid this? Let's talk now about education. There's something called the Rule of 72. The Rule of 72 states that if you were to take the rate of return of your money, divide it into 72, this will tell you how many years it will take for your money to double. Okay, so let's try this on for size. Let's take a look. Albert Einstein, by the way, calls compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. Niagara Falls is one of the wonders of the world. The pyramids are one of the wonders of the world. I think maybe Mount Rushmore is too. I'm trying to remember all the 8th wonders of the world. There's some crazy good ones out there. But if you were to get a 4% rate of return, if you divide it into 72, it goes 18 times. So 4 times 18 equals 72. So that means that it's going to take 18 years for your money to double. So if you're a 29-year-old today and you had $10,000 to invest, it'll double to 20, then 40,000 by 65. No one's getting super excited about 40 grand in retirement. I can tell you that right now. I know none of you are. Now, what about this though? What if you just got a little better advice? What if you're able to sit down with a proper investment strategy advisor or agent and they said, listen, what if we took this money and put it into better performing areas with better potential returns? Now, there's going to be some market risk, some fluctuations up and down. With more risk comes more return. We've seen that time and time again. So this 8% doubles every 9 years because 8 divides into 72 9 times. So now that same 29-year-old, the money is doubling twice as fast. So you might think, oh, twice as fast means twice as much money. No, it actually means 4 times the money, because 10 goes to 20, 40, 80, 160. This is 4 times the compound interest, but only 2 times the rate of return. That is the power of compound interest, everybody. Now watch this. How about 12%? Now everyone goes, Darren, where do you get 12% today? I can show you tons of different places that are averaging that even through COVID, the pandemic, the last 10 or 15 years. And so if you were invested partially in some of these areas, maybe a partial account in the 8%, some of your account at 12%, you diversified your risk, well, then you'd be doubling and compounding money every 6 years. So now the same 29-year-old, the money doubles to 20, 40, 80, 160, 320, and $640,000. So if you think about it, if both family members did this, and you're able to create a $1.2 million account by both investing at the same time and building your wealth up, then you'd have the ability to possibly retire with enough money. And so that's a very powerful rule to understand, is the rule of 72. And so we want to make sure you position your money in these types of areas. Now, so what do we really do? We simplify the complicated by empowering families with this education, how to do what we do, how to place money in proper areas, and how to grow that wealth. So what do? We do what's called an expert financial analysis, or a green sheet concept, where you get to understand the simple solutions to simplify the complicated, and kind of giving you that roadmap to follow. So most people have never done a proper expert financial analysis, have never sat down to really analyze their situation. And in Canada here, we go through a whole process, in the US as well, a whole process to really put people on track financially to win the money game. So what does that mean? Well, that means essentially peace of mind, because you have the insurance protection, the strategy, the debt strategies, the investments, whether it's in Canada or the US, or it's a children's plan or retirement. And so again, the question comes down to who needs what we do. Basically everyone. If you have a paycheck, do you have a paycheck strategy? Do you have an insurance, a debt, an investment strategy? If you don't have any strategy, it's probably time that you get one. So this is really the key to what we do. And so again, it's really a powerful place to be. And so I'm going to switch gears now to talk about our opportunity. So what is the opportunity? This is where I'm going to switch gears and talk really to you about, if you were to join this industry, if you were to be part of this industry and do what we do what we just kind of showed you today. And I can't go into every single thing that we do. I'm just going to give you that 30,000 foot view tonight. But if you were to look at this as an opportunity, what would that look like? And first of all, why would anybody take a little extra time out of their day to spend learning a new industry? Well, I'm going to walk through some of that tonight and share with you why I believe this is one of the most incredible industries in the world, with residual income, with the ability to build your business as big as you want, all over America, all over Canada, whichever country you live in. And so the ability to grow and build a residual income business is truly, truly outstanding in our industry. Because with all of our products and services, there's some type of residual income attached to it, which is really, really, truly amazing. My brothers are in real estate. They don't have residual income. Real mortgage brokers don't really have residual income unless it's every 4 or 5 years when they renew mortgages or go get a new one or buy a second property. But there's no real residual income. But what's the number one reason why people would change doing what they're doing or learn something on a part-time basis? Well, I always find that people have goals and dreams and just wish they could maybe have a new home, or maybe a nicer car, maybe a dream vacation, maybe enjoy some toys and some fun things, some boats, some ATVs, things like that. For me, it was to get rid of the debt. That was my number one priority, $116,000 of debt, mostly at 19% interest. It was a very brutal time in my life. I do not wish that even upon my worst enemies. No, wait a minute. No, I don't wish that upon my worst enemies. Even they don't deserve that. And so it was a really, really painful experience. And I felt like such a fool. I felt such an idiot, because I really didn't understand the money game. But when I learned how to turn on the debt strategy, I learned how to turn on the investment strategy, I learned how to turn on, the rule of 72, all those strategies started applying and working for me. And very soon I started knocking down the debt. But also I was able to get into this industry and really go out and make a 6-figure income that I'd never made before. And so maybe it's to, have a large family or a small family, or maybe like me, it was to take care of my mom and dad. And this is my story. What I experienced, when my dad had late stage dementia, I could be there anytime he picked up the phone and called me. And sometimes he was calling us at 4:00 in the morning. He was very delusional. And he thought he was back on the farm, and he called me up, and then I call the senior care home. They go, "Yes, Darren, your dad's down here at the front door. We'll take him back to his room." It was a very painful time in my life, but it was awesome. I didn't need permission from a boss. I didn't need to ask for, paid or unpaid leave. I didn't need to burn up my vacation hours, because I ran my own business. I had the flexibility and freedom and the income and the residual income to be there. And so many of us really live on linear income. Linear income is when you're kind of renting your life out to a job. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I'm not here to bang up jobs or put jobs down. I've had few jobs in my lifetime, but I was very unemployable. I have to be honest. I was always an entrepreneur. I really didn't like working for somebody else. But when you're going to work and you come home, you get paid. You go back to work, you come home, you get paid. You go back to work, you come home, you get paid. It's a linear income. You stop going to work, do they keep paying you? Yes or no? No, they stop paying you. In fact, if you don't go to work for at least a week, you don't tell someone, you're fired, right? They got to replace you because you're not reliable. So again, being able to be there with my dad was very important. But my mom just last year spent 55 days in hospital, 25 in cardiovascular ICU as a 74, 75-year-old. She had open heart surgery. Wasn't the same as 20 years ago when she had open heart surgery. My mom barely made it out. And I can tell you to this day, and you're all my witness to this, and I'll tell you that I don't believe my mom would be alive today if we were not able to be there every day. Between my brother, his wife, myself, my wife, we were there just about every single day with my mom. I put cold compresses on her forehead. I rubbed her feet. I talked to her. I was there, put the ice cubes so she could get some water in her mouth. And, she was very comfortable, and we were there, and she knew she was loved, and she knew she was cared for. And man, I can tell you that she's alive today because of that care, because of us being there. And we could be there because both of us, my brother and I, both have careers that we're self-employed. And so that's when I realized the power of my income, the power of the residual. And so many of my teammates were so awesome to pick up at the office and take over training. And it was just an amazing time in my life. My mom's alive today because of it. So if you ever have someone in your family go down to sickness or illness or all this craziness now with COVID, now all the other ailments coming from that, you're going to want to be there for your family. And can you actually be there? Can you take weeks or months off work? And so for some of us, it might be just giving our children a better life than we had. And so if this is you are in the right place, because at the end of the day, the word that ties all this together is one word called freedom. And if you don't have financial freedom, I'm sorry to say it feels like you're a slave to debt and a slave to a job. And they say slavery is over, but if you have debt over your head, you're really never truly free. The true definition of slavery really should be over today, and there's no more of it. But really, are we free if we're always a slave to debt or to the boss or to a clock, right? So again, true freedom is what we're fighting for. So how do we do that? Well, what about making an extra $2,000-3,000 a month part-time? What would you do with some of that money? Would you pay off debt like I was doing? Would you just maybe treat yourself, eat out a few times, maybe for once in a while, save for a home or a new car, invest for your children, and maybe you do charity, more vacation time, maybe invest for the future, or just help family or friends get out of a tough situation. For most of us, even if you earn an extra $1,000 per month, would that make a difference right now? Yes or no? I think absolutely. Even $1,000 a month on a very part-time basis. By the way, to make $2,000 to $3,000 a month part-time, that might take you a maximum of about 20 hours a month. So if you think about that, that's over $100 an hour, maybe $150 an hour. And it might not even take you 20 hours if you're good at what you do. It takes me way less. I could actually earn that sometimes in one family, one night. And so if you did 10 nights a month of that, that's 20 grand. And so this is our industry, folks. This is the power of our industry. So can you make money? Well, what's beautiful about our business? The answer is yes, because you can do it part-time, twinning your career. So, helping 2 to 3 families a month, a trainer's with you every step of the way. You're earning while you're learning, and you're going at your own pace. What ends up happening to so many people that get good at this, and they just focus on getting good at the concepts, the strategies, and helping people out with their strategies, is they start to be able to make full-time career income. And so now you've got a career change potential, residual income building, and you have ownership of that book of business with your clients. And then also we have an agency model that allows you the ability to build your own financial services agency inside of Experior. And this is where I fell in love with this business, and I fell in love with Experior because I was able to not only learn this for myself, but teach others how to do it so that I could start to leverage some of my own time. And so this was super, super powerful because here, I started to earn additional agency overrides. I was promoting other agency owners, and I was able to now start building across the US and Canada as a business owner. And this is what really gave me the freedom and flexibility to really have a career on my own terms, a business on my own terms. Robert Kiyosaki always talks about the E, S, B, and I quadrants. if you're an employee or self-employed, you never really have a business or the flexibility to really make business from a good business system. So Robert Kiyosaki always talked about the 9% of the wealthy own businesses and they own investments. So what do we get at Experior? We get both, the best of both worlds. One, you get to build a B business that runs on a system of training. We have weekly training every single week, monthly training, seminars, trainings, presentations like tonight. You could just literally bring people to next week's presentation. They're going to hear the same kind of presentation again. Might be different speakers, but they'll hear the same great information and they can make an informed decision whether to get started or not. And so let's take a quick look at a couple examples. So if you just help one person with one protection strategy, let's say they're paying $100 a month to those big name firms, that would be $1,200 of yearly premium. Whether in the US or Canada, the numbers are basically about the same. So you'd make around $840 as a financial associate. And these levels, by the way, there's qualifications to simply go up these levels. The higher the level, the more comp you get, your contract goes up. So as your contract goes up, you get paid more and more and more per sale. Okay. In Canada, this number is about $1,440. It's $1,380 in the US. But if you take a look at helping, say, 4 people with one protection strategy, so maybe it's one person a week. Some of us are doing this with one single family on a nightly basis. So when you look at being able to make $3,300, $4,000, $4,800, or $5,500 because you're multiplying the left side by 4, people look at this and they're like, holy man, that's crazy, Darren. Do you know I work 45 to 50 hours a week to make this money, and you're telling me I could make this with 20, 30 hours a month, say 40 hours a month, not 40 hours a week? And the answer is yes, because we just get paid so much more money to do what we do. So if it took you 4 hours per client, let's say it took you 5 hours, 4 clients is 20 hours of work. That's crazy, right? 20 hours of work would put you in the $150, $200, maybe $250 an hour level. And that's because we get paid really well. Remember, we represent multi-billion-dollar companies that entice us very well with a good paying commission to want to go help families. And so this is the beauty of our industry. It's so, so powerful. Now, what about owning an agency? Let's take a look at this. So what would owning an agency look like? Well, if you have an agency, that means that you are going to be out there helping some families. If you help 4 to 5 families in a month, you're going to make about $6,000 as an executive director. And if you are helping a team of agents, there's going to be something called contract spread. So what does that mean? Well, that means that with contract spread, whether you're in Canada or the States, the difference of these numbers is called spread. So if you're in the US tonight and you're making a 115 contract and somebody else is at 100%, the 15% Experior pays to you for coaching and teaching that agent. So you get the spread in the business, just like, a CEO or a vice president and a president. You got the senior manager, the sales manager, the sales staff. So everyone really gets a spread in the business because everyone usually gets a higher compensation the higher you go up in an organization. No different here. You earn your right to get a higher contract. The higher contract, the more you make. So take a look at this. Now you have to understand that half of your income is not coming from your own efforts anymore. It's coming from having built a team. So we have an incredible agency system, an agency model, kind of like a Remax, where if you're a Remax agent and you're really good, they're going to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, Darren, by the way, my 2 brothers are Remax agents. And my one brother, that's really his full-time focus. And he's been asked numerous times to open an agency. And he just kept saying, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. Now he's regretting it because he would have had the ability to leverage himself and have his own agency and earn income from owning a Remax agency. But he doesn't. And so he looks at my business. He's like, man, he goes, I should have got into your business years ago. Because check this out, $12,000 a month is $144 a year, plus all this residual income that comes in from the products and services. So this is an incredible way to build residual income. And eventually at some point, like myself, I don't do a lot of personal family programs anymore because I'm really coaching and mentoring and training others. But at some point, you may want to step out of that and just build an agency and multiple agencies across North America and earn income that way. So it's a really powerful place to be. So for you industry veterans tonight, just know we have one of the top compensation programs in all of America and in Canada. And so on top of this, by the way, we have additional carrier bonuses. So This is really, really powerful. We have a hold of, folks. If you're an industry veteran, you're going to definitely want to sit down with someone like myself, or an executive director, agency owner, with the person that asked you to be here tonight or watch this video later. You're going to want to sit down and find out all the details of how this compensation exactly works. Okay. So let's talk about the power of Experior's residual income. So let's say in the next, 5, 6, 7 months, we help you develop $1,000 or $2,000 a month residual income coming in now, whether you're really working or not. So if that were to happen, let's just say it takes a year. Do you understand that $1,000 a month times 12 months is $12,000? That's the equivalent of having saved up for many years $240,000. Because if you were to put that into an investment and live on that and take an income from it, if you could find a nice 5%, dividend type income, and that would pay you $12,000, the equivalent of $1,000 a month business income. Now, what if you had a $2,000 a month income? That's $24,000 for the year. That means that you would have a $480,000 equivalent investment paying 5% to you. Now, I look at this, I say, how long would it take every one of us to build a $250,000 or almost a $500,000 investment account starting from scratch? So if that was you, how long would it take you? It would take you possibly 10, 50, maybe 20 years to build that. You could do this in a year. We got some people do this in 6 months, folks. Just 6 months.
Amen.
Now, can someone mute, please? Thank you. What if you're earning $5,000 a month residually? If you're earning $5,000 a month residually, that's 60 grand a year. That's 5% times $1.2 million. Folks, this is crazy. We've got people that did this in 1 year. We got people doing this in their second year, third year, right? Just imagine creating a residual income of $5,000 a year is the same as having scrimped and saved and strived and double jobs, 3 jobs, part-time work, evening work, extra hours to accumulate 1.2 million. So here's the best part. As you grow and build an agency, you can't stop other agents from wanting to grow and build their own agencies as well. So my wife and I cannot stop what we've developed and built. It's going to keep growing and keep growing because we've created, this agency system within Experior. So if you have a $10,000 a month income, then that's $120,000 a year. That's the equivalent of 5% of $2.4 million in investments. Now, what if it just kept growing to $20,000? This gets crazy, right? That's the same as having 4.8 million. Now, here's the best part. Again, going back to Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, right? If you have the ability to own a business like Experior and build a significant income and then make more income than you're spending, more income than you need, you're going to be able to invest it wisely. You're going to have the best of both worlds. So not only are you going to have a monthly residual with Experior, you're also going to know how to build these accounts. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds on the right side of Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. So that's a very exciting place to be. So now let's take a look at another avenue called legacy ownership. So what is legacy ownership? So what if one day you wanted to retire, or gosh forbid, you got disabled or passed early, right? You would have the ability to access, if you're an agency owner, you would have the ability to take a minimum 10-year buyout of your agency at a nice payout over 10 years, and you would be able to receive that money because you built it and you own it. The other best part is you could just pass the entire business 100% to your spouse or your children, and they could take over all that income and just keep running it the way it is. And so we have an incredible legacy ownership program that's second to none in the industry. To my knowledge, we're the very first ones to develop this comprehensive program to really protect us as agency owners to build and grow an agency structure. So it's just been an amazing, amazing system. And this is what's different. When you leave a job or you quit or retire, that company doesn't keep paying you and your family and your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids' kids. It's done. And so here, why not work for yourself? Stop renting your life and start owning your business, right? So I always tell people employment will pay your bills, but a business will build your fortune. Employment will pay your bills, but a business will build your fortune. Why not start building your fortune today? By the way, there's nothing wrong with being an employee, helping the business owner become wealthy and take those nice trips and have those big homes and fancy vehicles, but why not start working for yourself? Even if you got a part-time to start with and build it up. And so that's one of our programs. A second program is earning shares in Experior. So we offer every agent the unique opportunity to become a shareholder in Experior and celebrate in a company's growth and financial success. This to me is huge. I have now helped over 50 people earn shares just within my own team within Experior. We now have hundreds of people that own shares of the company. So our founders are such generous people. They decided to give away about 40% of the entire company because they knew that 60% of a multi-billion-dollar company is worth more than 100% of a $100 million company. And so they're very, very smart, savvy people. We're so honored to be able to work with such generous people that we're willing to give away shares in their own company to help us all become successful. And here's what I've learned about ownership. When you own a piece of something, you're not going to go mess it up. You're not going to go do silly things. You really protect your brand and your company. So we're so excited about that. Now it comes down to kind of where all this is great, Darren. I've seen all this. This is amazing. Your company's doing great things, but I don't know if I can do it. Do you think I can do it? I'm like, you know what? I don't know. See, I could sit here and sell you and go, oh, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Listen, you'll never know unless you just try it. Here, Nike has the best expression. What does Nike always say? Nike says, what? Just do it. And just do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. So how can you just do it? Well, you can start part-time, no experience required. We do all the hands-on training support, weekly webinars, 24/7 video library, personal and business development, because you can't out-earn your self-esteem. If you think you're only a $30,000, $40,000 earner, you got to start changing your thinking to start believing you can be a multi-six-figure income earner, because so many of our agents are now at that level when they were never there before. And so we teach you the product knowledge, we teach you the licensing course, the program, all of that. So we teach you how to market yourself, how to approach and contact your market, how to get the word out of the marketing out about your business. And so you can say the right things and get more results. We also teach you the financial side. So you can learn how to properly take care of families and starting with yourself. So what happened to me, my story is I was blown away by what they did for me. I was like, this is amazing. I wanted to shout it from the rooftops. I wanted to go to everyone I knew, but I knew that wouldn't be the right way. And I didn't want to go try and selling stuff. So they taught me how to approach and contact properly. So I got tons of people that wanted to sit down and learn what I was doing because I wasn't selling, I wasn't pitching anything. And I just asked them for help with my training. They said, sure, that sounds great. That's amazing. And through that process, they said, Darren, this is amazing information. How do I get an EFA? How do I get my green sheet EFA process? How do I join the business with you? So many people saw my excitement, saw my passion, saw my energy, and they wanted to be part of it. So that's how I built my team, by the way, was my passion, my excitement. So these are all people in my business right now. These are all six-figure and above earners. They've all earned the six-figure ring at some point in their career, and some are now far beyond that. Some are going on to 2, 3, 4. I just had a guy cross over 300 grand just the last couple of weeks. Another person about to cross over 400 grand. So there's lots of really cool things happening. But here's the awesome part. Making an extra 2 to 3 grand a month is very honorable. Then going to start making 2 to 3 grand a week is even better. And all of these are amazing people. What I want you to take away from this page is how diverse our company is. I personally, in our company, does not care what race, religion, color, background you came from. It does not matter. You do the work, you get promoted. You do the numbers, you get your promotions. So this is a 12-month rolling cash flow. So these are all six-figure and above earners. Check out their backgrounds. This lady here, Julian, works right here at Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. She's over $200,000 a year with us. She's still part-time. She's a full-time nurse. Prabhjit, an accountant out of Surrey, BC. And these are today, these are all Canadians. We have lots of Americans. One of our top American people right now, he's about to cross over $400,000. Simon, he's building a great business down there. We have tons of others. Vladimir, all six-figure earners. Eric and Mary, Jacques and Mary. So these six-figure earners, tons of great people down there. But look at the backgrounds here. You look at all these backgrounds, you go, wow, they never came from financial services. So here's the point. Don't ever think you can't do something because listen, every nurse was not a nurse. Every scientist was not a scientist. Every rocket engineer was not a rocket engineer before they got there. So everyone started somewhere. So why not start where you're at and learn this great, great residual income industry? So in kind of wrapping up tonight, if you have a job or business today, in 3 to 5 years from now, what is going to be your dream income? Is it going to be 100, 200, 500,000? Here's the problem. If you kind of look around and what you're already doing right now, where will you be in 3 to 5 years with your current job or business? If nobody around you is making your kind of dream income, then why would you want to stay in that career or job? So you have two choices. One is just continue as is, and maybe you just kind of give up on those goals and dreams and that lifestyle and the extra homes and the travel and all of that, and just maybe kind of settle. But I would tell you this: I'm going to challenge you to not do that. I'm going to challenge you to grow and make a change and make an impact and a difference. And maybe you become the difference maker for your entire family for the first time in history, that some of your family goes on to become a millionaire, goes on to become a multi six-figure earner in a great industry, goes on to really change the course of your family's history for the rest of time. And so I'm going to encourage you to stop renting your life and start owning your life with a business. And so the nice part about this is it's a couple $100 to get started. We're not talking $1,000. Realtors, by the way, got to spend almost $8,000 to buy a real estate course, $4,000 to $3,000 to buy a mortgage broker course. And then you got to pay lots of desk fees and costs. We don't have a lot of here. Almost all my business is on Zoom, and a lot of it would be just my local office, but most of it's online from home. It's crazy. So I'm going to challenge you to grow and make a change, to take on an amazing new career. And here's the worst part. Gosh forbid it doesn't work out. It's not for you. You walk out of here with a world-class financial education. You know all the products and services. You know how to take care of yourself. That's the very least going to happen. And by the way, you have to write off everything anyway. So it's all a tax write-off against your income. So really, what have you lost? Absolutely nothing. But you have the potential to gain everything. That's the difference. So what are some of your choices tonight? Well, obviously, the first choice would be, hey, Darren, you know what? This makes a lot of sense. I'd like to learn how these concepts and strategies could work in my situation. I'd love to get kind of a second opinion also on what I'm already doing. No harm, no foul, no cost, no obligation, right? What about number two? Hey, you know what? I showed up tonight, Darren. I promised my friend I'd be here, and I showed up. I didn't think it'd be this interesting. I didn't think that, I'd be interested in this kind of a career, because they said they were doing something financial. I'm not in that space, but you caught my attention because I've seen other people do it. And I'm thinking to myself, I know people that need this help, and I'm kind of connected in my community, but I'd like to go make a difference, maybe help others, or I'm ambitious. I want to make some extra money. So, you know what? Starting a part-time training program might not be a bad idea. Gain that knowledge, gain education, and then start to grow a business income to kind of match your goals and dreams. Well, ultimately, the best choice would be both, and you get the best of both worlds together simultaneously. So, with that, I want to just again say congratulations for being here, taking part in tonight. You've made a promise to be here, to show up for the person who invited you. And I will tell you right now that quality of you showing up tonight is a characteristic I see in a lot of successful people in our industry and in Experior, because you kept your word. And today, I think people that keep their word are some of the most integral and some of the best people to work with in business, because we can count on them. And families, frankly, want to count on people who keep their word. Yeah, you tell somebody you're going to help them, then go help them. You tell them you're going to show up, you show up. And so I want to just congratulate all of you that show up tonight. I think it says a lot about you. And with that, I will end the presentation. What I'm going to do is stick around for another 10 or 15 minutes just to answer any questions, any things you have. So we're going to do that here. So thank you again for being here. It's been my great honor sharing with you tonight our information and opportunity. So with that, we'll end here.